Alright, so I'm going to be replacing the battery on this 13-inch MacBook Pro model A1502 early 2015. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is use a Pentalobe 1.2 or P5 screwdriver to remove all the screws from the bottom. You want to keep the screws in order because they can be different size, shape, and lengths. The way I do that is I put the flat side down like that on my desk in the pattern that I remove them. So you can see this rectangular pattern, so we'll put them like that. On this model, usually these two back screws are slightly shorter than the rest, the two in the middle. Alright, so keep that in mind if you did happen to just throw them all into a container. Excuse me. Alright, so let's go ahead and just remove all these screws. If this video helps you out, make sure to like, subscribe, and share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. If it helps you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to my channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. Alright, so I recently did a poll asking if I should do videos on models that I've already done before. So I've done a lot of this same exact model. And people voted yes, so here it is. Alright, so we got all these screws out. Now let's go ahead and lift the cover off. Normally there's some clips holding this, but this battery actually inflated and popped those clips out. So normally you would pull up like this and you kind of have to wiggle it to pop those clips. Here you can see those two clips. It's pretty dusty in here, so I'm going to actually have to clean this up before I continue. But the battery here is held in with some double stick foam adhesive. So these models are somewhat of a pain to replace the batteries on. I can also see they replaced the SSD with an OWC SSD as well. But anyways, I'm going to clean the dust out of here and I'll be back. Alright, see you guys in a bit. Alright, so I'm back. Cleaned out the dust. As you can see, it's a lot cleaner now. Okay, so this model is a little bit more work because we have to remove the trackpad cable here. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to switch over to a T5 or Torx 5 screwdriver. Alright, actually, first thing we want to do is disconnect the battery and make sure that the customer turned off their computer. Oh, they had a little keyboard protector in there. Okay, so let's go ahead and disconnect the battery. So to do that, let's zoom in here. Okay, you can see that the battery connector has this layer here, so we're going to lift up from there. Okay, usually I would lift both sides, but it popped out with just one, so usually I would lift from both sides like that with it on my desk. Alright, and after you've done that, you're going to want to open up the MacBook and then press and hold the power button for about 15 seconds. This will drain any residual power and make it a lot safer to work on. It's not as important for removing the battery, but you kind of want to do it just to be safe anyways. Alright, so usually this is mostly important if you're going to mess with the LCD LVDS connector right here. But yeah, I like to do it just to be safe either way. Okay, so we're going to remove a few components from here. Let's actually zoom in a bit so you can focus on the battery section. Okay, so first thing we're going to do, let's actually remove the screws for the speakers here. Okay. And we're not going to be taking the speakers out completely, or at least not the left side on this side, but we're going to take out the other one. This will just make it easier to work with to remove the battery. The reason we're not going to remove this one is because the cable is like going underneath and it's a bit more work to remove. And yeah, we don't really need to remove it just to get it out of the way. So to get it out of the way, we're going to lift up here. Comes up like that, and then you can just kind of move that and swing it over here. Alright, so if you want, you can also clean up under here because it is going to be dusty. Alright, so we can clean that up. Alright. And then we're just going to swing this over here to keep it out of the way. Alright, so I basically just stuck it up there. Alright, now we're going to remove, let's just go across from left to right. Now we're going to remove this little cover here for the trackpad. Alright, for the trackpad or touchpad connector. We're not going to be removing the trackpad, just the cable. Okay, so after we remove those two screws, we're going to take this metal plate off and set it aside. Okay, and then to remove this connector here, I just get underneath opposite corners like this, and I kind of just wiggle it as I pull it. Alright, just like that. All right, and then this, you're gonna wanna pull, kind of try and keep it flat. You don't wanna crease it, because if you crease it, you can actually damage the cable. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna kind of try and grab as close as we can to where it's held in with the adhesive, and I'm pulling it that way as I kind of lift it up slightly, okay? So just like this. And I'm gonna put my finger here, so that way at the end of the adhesive, it's not just gonna tear it out. Okay, just like that. Okay, then we got over here, we're gonna have to unlatch this. So there's a little latch. We're gonna flip that latch up, okay? Just like that. Once you flip that up, we're gonna pull this straight back and slightly upwards. There's an adhesive underneath holding it, so keep that in mind. Okay, so you have to slowly pull it, and the adhesive will eventually release. Okay, so just like this. And there you go. Here you can see the adhesive that was kind of stuck under there. All right, so we're gonna set that aside. All right, so now let's go ahead and remove the battery screw up here, okay? And then the other speaker screws. So on this one, we're actually going to remove the speaker itself. We're gonna actually completely remove it. So let's go ahead and get these screws out. Again, 3 screws holding it in place. Okay, oops. All right, last one down here. All right, now that we've got all those screws out, again, they are all different lengths and sizes, so make sure to keep them all in order. Okay, so next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna lift the speaker up like this. We're gonna swing it over so that the cable can get out from underneath here. Okay. And then we're gonna pop this out. To pop this out, you want a thin pry tool. So usually I'll just use my fingernails, but right now I clipped them all kind of short, so that's not gonna work too well. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna get this tool in here. All right, we're gonna get it as far underneath as we can. Here you can see it sticking out, but basically you wanna get it as far underneath as you can. I'm turning it so the corner goes under the center of it, and then I'm gonna twist the tool and you can see it pops it out, okay? So basically what we're doing, let me see if I can show you a better close-up, but we got the speaker out. Let me show you a better close-up of what is happening here. So the connector here, all right, it has this slight indentation. So if you see here, if I move the tool, it gets caught in there. So basically what we're doing is we're getting it underneath the center of that groove, and then we're flipping it up. You could technically just get the entire tool under there and then flip it as well. That will work fine as well. All right. But there we go. We already disconnected the battery and held the power button. So let's go ahead now and pry the battery out. Oops, sorry. Let's go ahead, zoom out, zoom out. Okay, so this is the annoying part of the repair, getting the battery out. Apple designed this in a way where it's kind of very difficult to remove. Basically, we're gonna use this thin metal tool here. This is like a frosting spatula, but it's much thinner. So I don't know if you can see how thin that is, but you can see it's very flexible. It's not sharp, it's not a knife, okay? So it won't cut you. But what we're doing is, this is a foam adhesive and we're just separating the 2 layers of the foam. So to do that, what we're gonna do, we can actually do it this way to make it easier for this short one. But basically, you get underneath here, okay? And then we're pushing the tool underneath that battery pack to cut the foam adhesive, right? So here you can see, now we got that out, and you can see the foam adhesive underneath. Okay, we're gonna do the same thing with the other side here. Okay, just get this underneath. Okay, if you are going to use a different tool, make sure that it's not sharp, because you don't want to cut into these things. When they're inflated like this, it's a little bit more risky, because the thing, since it's curved like this, when you cut it, it can cut into the curve. So keep that in mind. If you do puncture it, you don't want to inhale this, and also you might want to do it outside or somewhere near an exit door in case it somehow catches on fire. You can throw it outside. Yeah, I haven't had an issue with that. I've had where I punctured it and then you can smell the thing, but that's toxic. You don't want to smell it, inhale it on purpose. All right. So anyways, we're going to continue cutting the battery pack out from the foam. Okay, this foam is actually cutting quite nicely. but hopefully that doesn't mean it's going to be the foam that it's very difficult to remove. On some models, especially the older ones, the foam tape, instead of peeling off, it just crumbles to shreds, so it's a lot more difficult to remove. Okay, we got the other pack out as well. We're going to do the same thing on this side. Okay. Alright, again, you want to be careful with this. You can take it slow. You don't have to do it as fast as I'm doing it. Alright. Alright, and also you want to make sure that when you're cutting the foam, you're cutting it from the pushing motion. You don't want to pull it like this, because if you cut underneath here, so if it's bowed out like this, when you cut it, it kind of will go follow the curve. But if you cut here and then you try and slide it over, it might stick there, and then you'll like slice off through the thing. Okay, so you want to be very careful with that. All right, so this one is a little bit different because it's raised up from the trackpad. Let me see if I can show you that. So here you can see there's this raised metal piece here. So you have to lift the tool slightly higher to get under there. And then also you want to be very careful when cutting this, because there is the keyboard cable here. So if you accidentally go over that way, you can cut into the keyboard cable, and then you're going to have to replace the whole keyboard if you damage that. So very, very dangerous that way. So you want to try and keep the tool further over towards the center, and then you can slightly work your way out. Again, you want to be careful with that adhesive, okay? Or not the adhesive, the keyboard cable, sorry. Okay, and let's go ahead and cut this one out. Okay, so just get the tool underneath, and same thing, we're just gonna slide it over. Okay, and this is the hard part because the battery packs are slightly in the way, so you can't just like cut it as easily. Okay, all right, and then also you have this metal piece here. So you can't just get under this piece, you have to slightly go at an angle. So you want to be careful when cutting this. Okay. So usually what I do is I slowly push the tool in to cut it. Alright, and then when I see it at this corner, you can actually pull the whole battery up, but we do have to cut the rest over here first. So I'll show you that once we finish cutting all the adhesive. Okay. Okay. Almost there. And you want to be careful for the trackpad as well. You don't want to hit anything over here. Okay, so be very careful when cutting the battery adhesive near the trackpad. Okay, so we got that out. Now we're going to go at an angle here, and again, I can see the tool here. We're going to peel this up. Okay. Wow, this one's actually holding very strong. Okay, we're going to turn the tool a little bit more angled and see if we can cut more of the adhesive then. And all right, I think we got it. Okay. There we go. All right, so we cut all of that. Now we're going to go under this way and cut this adhesive. All right. All right, so let's go ahead and cut this one. Okay. Angle it slightly more. All right. Like that. Cut straight down. Come on. Go. Almost done getting the battery out, and then we have to remove all the adhesive. And you want to be very careful with the trackpad. You don't want to damage that. Alright, got almost all of it out. Let's see if we can actually pry this up. It doesn't look like it, so we're probably going to have to angle this over and cut this. Okay, so there we go. Let's go ahead and carefully lift the battery out. You actually want to lift them all out at the same time if you can. Okay, and here you go. You can see the bottom of the battery. It's all intact. There's no holes in it or anything. We're going to now set that battery aside. Okay, now for the annoying part is getting all this adhesive residue out. I use these plastic razor blades to do it. It helps, makes it quite a bit easier. But yeah, you can use whatever you want. Okay, so basically we're gonna try and get a piece of the adhesive up. Once you do that, you can grab the adhesive and you can slowly peel it back. Okay, again, some models don't peel off like this, and you can see it's actually leaving residue, which sucks because it's going to be a pain to clean it. But let's go ahead and peel this all off. Okay, so we got that. Let's go ahead and get over here. Okay, and peel that up as well. Okay, this one is too torn up to be able to just peel it, so I'm just going to use the razor blade and cut it up or scrape it up. Okay. Usually when you peel it, a lot less residue sticks to the case, so it's best if you can peel it. Okay, but again, that's not always the case. This one, you can see actually the adhesive is staying stuck on it. But yeah, usually when you peel it, it leaves a lot less of the adhesive residue behind. Okay, it actually is kind of working on this side, but not completely. Okay. Alright, there we go. Okay, so you can see there's some residue there. We're gonna have to clean that up with rubbing alcohol. Otherwise, the new battery won't stick as well. Okay. Let me peel this off. Okay, good. Nope. Okay. I think I have customers messaging me right now, so I might have to respond to that real quick. Wow, this stuff in the middle doesn't want to peel off well. Okay. Just keep peeling this up. There we go. All these crumbs here, so I'm going to just stick them all to the adhesive. Okay. Alright, there's still a bunch of adhesive stuck here. Oh no, this one, the adhesive all stuck there. That's going to be a pain to remove. Okay. Just keep peeling this up. Oh, it's leaving a lot of residue behind, so it's going to be a pain. Ambulance is going. Alright, so we got all the foam stuff out. Let's go ahead now and remove the residue. So again, we're going to use some isopropyl alcohol. I'm using 91%. Basically what I'm going to do, I'm just going to get some onto there. Okay. And we're just going to get that all over the adhesive here. Okay, and this will basically make it to where we can scrape up the adhesive a lot easier. So it dissolves the adhesive. Okay, some people were telling me they used acetone. You want to avoid using acetone because if you get it on these plastic components, it can dissolve them. So you want to be very careful with that. If you do use acetone, just make sure you're extra careful that it doesn't get on any of the plastic parts, because again, that will dissolve them. Okay. I had one customer spill acetone on their MacBook and it dissolved their keyboard, so you want to be very careful with that. Okay. Alright, so most of that adhesive residue is gone. We're going to try and get some of this rubbing alcohol up here onto this adhesive so it's not wasted. And we're going to have to use a paper towel to get this adhesive residue out before it kind of dries up. But we want to get all this. All right. Okay, let's get some paper towel and clean off that residue. So clean up that gloop. Alright, just wipe this up. We will have to use a paper towel with some rubbing alcohol later to get off the remaining. There's a little bit still stuck on there. Okay, let's see if we can scrape this up now. So here you can see now we can get this adhesive residue a lot easier. Okay. Go. All right. Let's get this side all coated with the rubbing alcohol. Okay, I'm gonna have to scrape up this gloopy stuff now. Okay, let's get some more rubbing alcohol. We're gonna work on this side now. Oh, I need more rubbing alcohol in this bottle. Okay. The adhesive residue. Still stuck on there. There. Let's get the excess rubbing alcohol and get it on the center again. Okay, let's see if we can scrape this stuff up. It's working. Okay, it's stuck pretty strong right there. Let's clean up the residue again. Okay, we're getting there. Right, gonna need a little bit more. Oops. Getting there. Some of this adhesive is really tough stuck on there. Alright, let's clean this up, and then we're going to use a paper towel soaked with rubbing alcohol to get the remaining residue off. Or we're going to try. Okay. So, let's get some paper towel. Tear a piece. Okay, we're just going to fold it up. Going to get some rubbing alcohol on it. Okay, and we're just going to clean off this residue here. Okay, that side's all clean. Same thing over here. Okay. And now for the center one. All right, we're gonna flip it over to a clean side, get some more rubbing alcohol in there, and continue wiping this stuff off. Alright, I think we're just about done, and then we can put in the new battery. We're gonna clean it one more time because I don't know if you can see, there's still all that. It's a light film of residue. So we're gonna get a little bit on the more dry spot, and let's go ahead and clean this up. Okay, I'm gonna use one more bit of paper towel, a little bit more rubbing alcohol, and let's go ahead and clean off the remainder here. Okay. All right, should be good to go. We're gonna now put in the new battery. Okay, so the customer brought me this battery. Let's see. Okay, so the battery is like this. Let's go ahead and move the computer over so you can see what I'm doing. All right, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna peel off this hard plastic layer, so just like this. All right, I like to roll it back just like this. Is it getting stuck on? Okay, there we go. All right, there we go. Okay, then they have this top layer, that's to keep it all in order. I like to get these bottom parts in first, slowly lower it down, make sure all of this lines up properly. Okay, if it looks okay, then we can go ahead and push that into place. Okay, just like that. There we go. Good. Then we're going to get the speaker back into place. Make sure it fits. All right, good. Same thing with this speaker. Get that underneath. Okay, let's see if I can get a better zoomed in view. Okay, let's actually put the screw here first. Uh-oh, why is it not lined up right? Oh, there we go. Okay, so looks like I'm gonna have to push this over slightly to get it in place. This thing doesn't really line up right. Okay, so we're gonna push that over and get that screw into place. All right, and tighten that down. There we go. All right, let's get this speaker into place. Slide the cable underneath, then swing that over. There we go. Make sure this lines up properly, and then just click that into place. Good. All right, we can start putting in those screws. All right, let's get all three speaker screws. I like to loosely fit them first just to make sure everything is lined up properly. We are going to peel off this clear layer, so you don't want to leave that on there. Okay, we can go ahead and tighten these batteries down all the way. Just like that. Okay, I'm going to go over to the trackpad thing. Let's go ahead and actually peel this up. Oh, they tucked it weird. Okay, so let's go ahead and get the plastic off of this battery. So you want to actually roll it off. You don't want to just pull it straight up. Okay, so just like this. All right. If you just pull it straight up, you can separate the layers of the battery, and then that can cause damage. So I always roll it off like this. Okay. All right, there we go. All right, next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna put the trackpad cable back in. So make sure that latches up, and then get this lined up here. Hopefully you can see. Okay, get that lined up, push that in. You will see some of the gold contacts sticking out, that's normal. Flip that latch down. Okay, and then I like to try and get this connected before I push down the adhesive. This looks kind of dirty here, so let's clean that up. Okay. All right, let's get this connector in. Okay, just like that. Hopefully you were able to see. Make sure it's lined up, and then you can kind of push this down from the center and make sure that the excess slack is kind of going between both sides, so it's not all just bowed out on one side. All right, we're gonna get this metal plate and put that back on top. All right, get that screw in. I'm gonna loosely fit it, get the second screw. Okay, and then get that into place. Good. Tighten that all the way down, tighten that all the way down. All right, and get the last 3 speaker screws in. Again, we're just gonna loosely fit it first because we wanna make sure everything is lined up properly. Go, last one. All right, and now let's go ahead and tighten it down. Good. Okay, let's go ahead and get the battery connected. This thing's not lined up right, so I'm going to peel this up. A lot of times this cable is a bit too long, so what you want to do is fold it in half backwards. Let me show you when I peel this off, it'll be easier to see. Excuse me. Okay, let's zoom in. So right now, if you try and push it, you can see it sticks out, it's too long. So what you do is you fold this in half, and then you can twist this, you can bend it like that to get it to line up right. So you can see now we can actually get that in. It's easier to get in one corner first, so just get one corner in like that. Once you get that lined up, then you can go ahead and push across the entire thing. Okay, just like this, and push it down. There we go. Then we can go ahead and stick this back on top. Okay. Get that all lined up and stick that into place. There we go. Okay, let's zoom out again and put back the bottom cover. Next thing, or last 2 things we're going to do is a Pram and SMC reset. So let's go ahead and do that now. Okay, so we're going to get the bottom cover. Hopefully now it will click into place. Get that in. Okay, it kind of clicks into place. Let's flip this over and let's do the Pram and SMC reset. All right, so first you want to do an SMC reset. Let me get the charger. So we're going to plug this in. The light should be orange. All right, it's orange. Do Control Option Shift on the left side, power button. You'll see it goes to green and back to orange. That's how you know you did the SMC reset right. Now let's do a Pram reset, power it on, and then Command Option P and R, hold those buttons down. You'll hear the chime. The screen should go off, and then you'll hear the chime a second time. You can actually let go the moment you see the screen go off, or you can just keep holding it until you hear the second chime, and that should be good. All right, so there we go. We're just gonna put this keyboard cover back on, and then we're going to put all the screws back in. But that's pretty much it. So let's go ahead and close this up. I'm going to let it charge a bit more so the customer has it more fully charged, and then we're just going to put back the P5 or Pentalobe 1.2 screws, and that's pretty much it. So again, hopefully this video helped you guys. If it did, make sure to like, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices. If it helped you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. Other than that, that's pretty much it. You're welcome to stay as I put back the rest of the screws. But yeah, I'll see you all in the next one. All right, so let's go ahead and get all these screws back in. Okay, make sure all the screws are flush. This one's a little bit weird. I don't know why. There we go. All right, and that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. See you all in the next one. Let's drop this. Bye.